Okay, I guess we're live. It is November 9th. This is Dr. Fantastic's Motivational Center. I am Dr. Fantastic, and this is a test to see if we're going to use YouTube tomorrow on, what is it? Tomorrow is the 10th. It's called Call to Earth Day. And so this is a test. And we're going to be having a lot this on drfantasticsworld.com and befantastictoday.com. We're going to have a link, if you're on those websites, to these broadcasts. Now, the 13th is World Kindness Day. So this is my first test to see if we're going to do it here. We might do it in one of my offices, but wherever we do it, we'll do it. And it's basically an introduction to the Be Fantastic organization, which is called Be Fantastic International. It's a corporation in America with stock. Hello? Hello? Good morning. Fantastic morning. YouTube right now, so can we make it short? What's up? Oh, you see me now? You see me? It's for the doctor. That's how I am. Everything's fantastic. You're my first call in, and you see it live. It came up as a warning to you on your phone. Fantastic morning to you. Hold on, let me put you on speaker. So this is Mohammed, and he's a fantastic guy in Cairo, and he's one of my assistants, and he's ambassador. He's a number, I think 463 or something. Delay, so that's not good. And we are, I don't know if you know, Mohammed, but we're at 2,384 ambassadors now. Almost 2,000 ambassadors joined since you did. There's a delay. That's unfortunate. Okay. There's a delay. Unfortunately. So that's not good. We might have to do it on Facebook if there's going to be a delay like this. You there? No, he's watching me on YouTube. Mohammed, welcome. Cairo is a fantastic place to visit. It's like Los Angeles, great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. It is. I had an amazing time in Cairo. I spent probably close to a month in Cairo. I know it pretty well. The traffic is unbelievable. But I stayed across the street near Tehran Square, across from the museum, and I've seen some busy roads in my life around the world. And the 405 freeway in Los Angeles is one of the busiest freeways in the world. Now, it may have tens of thousands of cars every day, but they don't honk incessantly. On the Cairo, in that road, they honk literally every second. Many times I said, okay, I'm going to count, because, to count a second, you go 1001. And so I would go 1001, it'd be a beep. And literally every second, they're honking their horns. I love it. It's almost like music, because I don't let anything upset me, as you shouldn't. So most people might be upset by all night long the horns honking, but to me, I looked at it as music, because you can't do anything about it anyway. And people have their rhythms. They go beep beep beep, or they go beep, or there's many different sounds to the horn, and many different varieties of honking. Now, why they're honking, I have no idea. I think it's to let everyone know that they're there. They want everyone to know they're there. I know that the taxis are honking, like in Sharm here, to let everyone know that they're there if they want a taxi. But here you're in rush hour traffic. It's always rush hour traffic. Bumper to bumper traffic, and they're honking. They're just honking and honking and honking. And I bet you that's the first thing they fix in their car, because the cars aren't in the best of shape. And it's amazing. If you've never been there, there'll be families of 4, 5, and 6 on a motorcycle with no helmets. Now, in America, they have this thing called a helmet. You put it over your head, and it protects you when you fall that you don't die or get brain injury or whatever, or crack your head open. But I guess they don't fall in Egypt because families, I've seen families of 4. Just yesterday, a family of 4 here in Sharm on a motorcycle. And I haven't seen 6, but I've been told that they go up to 6. And that's the mother carrying a little infant, 2 between her and her husband, 1 in front. What's that? 1, 2. That's 6 right there. And they drive on the wrong side of the road in Cairo and other places. Upper Egypt. I went to Upper Egypt. They don't have stop signs. It's like it's free for all. Seatbelts, they don't even know what those things are. And the funniest part is when they're driving. I don't care if you're a taxi driver or a minibus driver or just a regular driver. This is how they drive. Oh, Mohammed, yes. Iowa. What? It's like it's pretty crazy. And one time I was going to the Cave Church, and the insurance is really interesting in Cairo. I guess the way it works, as I'm told, is you get in an accident, and then you repair your damage, and then you submit it to your insurance company, if you have insurance. I'm going to the Cave Church. Listen, I tease everybody. Egyptians, Americans, I tease everybody. So don't take offense. Egypt doesn't have a sense of humor all the time. Indians, Chinese, you have to have a sense of humor in life, Mohammed. Because I'm teasing Egypt. Listen, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you have a big problem. People take life too serious. Like Muhammad saying, you're teasing Egypt. I do know for a fact that if you say bad things, now I'm not saying bad things, I'm just saying real things. If you say bad things about Egypt, like it's a bad country or something like that, they will kick you out of the country. I'm not saying anything bad about Egypt, I'm just saying what it is. They drive without seatbelts. They drive without helmets. And they do that in America, but you get a ticket for that here. Speaking of tickets, I was driving with a friend, and he says, I obey the laws. I go, that's fantastic. It's like most people don't, they try to obey the laws, but they try to break the laws, like by speeding. Speeding is against the law in America. I imagine it's against the law here. Matter of fact, it is against the law here. So here, he says, I obey the laws. And I'm thinking, that's really pretty cool. Someone obeying the laws on their own. It's like the honor system. You have some bananas there, put your pounds down, buy your bananas, and take your bananas. If you're left on your own honor, on the honor system, it works fantastic. So here he's saying, I obey the speed limits. Well, it turns out that he has a device on his car that will automatically send a speeding ticket to him when he's speeding. Because the phone, it's a phone, has a GPS. GPS is programmed into the speed limit where he was. And if he goes over that speed limit, it knows it. Immediately, within a millisecond, he's got a speeding ticket. Now, you can pay it, you could actually apply where it automatically gets paid. Or you can wait a month and pay 3 times the amount, something like that. Anyway, so that's a great system. So that tells me the future of society is that you're going to be monitored wherever you go. You're going to, through litter, you're going to get a ticket. And that's going to be fantastic. Because, as you know, we have a littering problem. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow on Call to Earth Day. So, jaywalking, you're going to get a ticket. Now, how I really know this is going to be a fact is today a friend visited, and he was a delivery for a delivery company here in Egypt. And he just discovered that because he uses Google Maps, and he's got Gmail, and he delivers packages, he can go back and see every one of his stops, where he went, how long he spent there. And everyone can do this. Google tracks your every move. We already know that people around the world are being monitored by their governments, not just Egypt. Their governments, they monitor their phones. Words like ransom and terrorist and murder and kidnapping, all those words are monitored and to see if they have context, and we're being watched. The average person in a metropolis is photographed over 200 times a day. So they know where, matter of fact, during the apex of the COVID crisis, one of my ambassadors in Japan wrote me and said, well, first off, they locked you in your homes there and other places. And they actually welded the door shut so you couldn't leave because of COVID. But now, when he leaves his apartment, he has to check in with a computer camera. It takes a picture of him, records when he left, and all during the day while he's going around his town, buying bread on the bus, in the taxis, wherever he goes, facial recognition is following him and everyone else. So when he comes into contact with somebody, it gets alerted, he gets quarantined, everyone he came in contact with gets notified, and that's the world. That's the world. It's a bizarre world. I've lived lived in this world for 67 years. It's amazing. It's really amazing. But I have a mission, and some people call me crazy for spending as much time and effort to accomplish my mission, which is to make the world a kinder place. And it starts with you. Yes, you. Muhammad. Muhammad was a bad guy. He was just a typical bad guy. I won't say anything. We won't say his last name, but I got him to be a kinder man. And today he is kinder for listening to the philosophies of the Be Fantastic movement, the Be Fantastic organization, Dr. Fantastic. We have two websites, drfantasticsworld.com, befantastictoday.com. We have Be Fantastic Facebook, Doc Fantastic Facebook, Twitter, Be Fantastic Today, I think it is, Instagram, Be Fantastic Forever. We have lots of Be Fantastics. Because we want you to be fantastic. Are you getting the point yet? Matter of fact, we have an anti-bullying poster because we want people to be fantastic. We want to get rid of bullies. This is one for Africa, and we have one for the world. It says it's cool to be kind. And I think it is cool to be kind. And I know a lot of smart people in the world, and they will attest that kindness is the better way to behave as a human being. Now, again, this is, I don't know how many people are watching. Matter of fact, you know what I can do here? As it seems that my trusty assistant from South Africa is not calling in. YouTube. Maybe I can see myself. I would like to know how many people are watching. Oh, look at that. It says, here I am watching myself. One person's watching. I'm watching myself. That's pretty fantastic. So that's cool. It's working. Let me see. Raise my hand. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. It's a 5-second delay. Not too bad. It's pretty good quality. If my YouTubes make one per smile, which it's, but this will be recorded. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and so that 2 people will see it. Thank you, my friend. Yes, of course. They can hear all your cuss words. He is the only person watching. It's 2 people watching because I'm watching. But global broadcast for November. This is pretty cool. So, given that there's a 5-second delay, if you do comment. Oh, by the way, I didn't give the number out. The number to call in. Oh, he already knows the number. The one for, who am I talking to? There's only one person watching. I don't have to give him the number. He already knows the number. In right now as the second person, the number is plus 01 09 80 7584 or plus 2 01 09 07 96903. We have 2 numbers, and feel free to call in. I'm not sure why I'm calling. She said she was going to call, and she's not calling. Egypt. I should. Yeah, I'm going to tease Egypt again. Sorry, Mohammed, I'm teasing Egypt again. They'll say I'll be there in 5 minutes, or I'll be there in 20 minutes, And I will always ask now, because I've been here a year, is it Egyptian 5 minutes or American 5 minutes? Americans are slow too. Americans says 5 minutes, they'll be there in an hour. When I say I'll be there in 6 minutes, I'm there in 6 minutes. When I say I'm going to do a broadcast at 5 o'clock, it's not 5:01 I do a broadcast at. I do it at 5 o'clock. Because one of the very important things in business and in life is to be punctual. Louis XVIII, the King of England, not a kingdom back then I think it was called, he couldn't give anything to his people except his time. I mean, he can give his gold away, but he felt his time was the most valuable thing he can give to his kingdom. So he coined the phrase, punctuality is the politeness of kings. And when I give my speeches to companies, the first thing I say to everyone is, don't be late. Don't be late. There is no excuse for being late. None whatsoever. If you want to be somewhere, you'll be there on time. Because if you're early, you're on time. Because you get to get ready. You know, before I did this broadcast, I put my stuff out here, then I went live. When you're early, you're on time. When you're on time, it starts at 5 o'clock, already I'm still putting my steam. You're late. And if you're late, you should be fired. If you ever watch the news at 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whenever it comes on in your area, it goes on at 5 o'clock. Not 5 o'clock and 10 seconds, at 5 o'clock. Punctuality is the politeness of kings. So the first rule in business is to be on time. Now that's being accountable for your actions. It's being respectful for your employer who's giving you money to work, not to be late. So put yourself in his spot. You want 100 employees showing up late every day? You don't. So that's my first thing when I talk to company. I try to teach them to be accountable for their actions, to be on time. Very, very important. So now we'll go through tomorrow, or on the 13th, when I go through the full 3-hour course on kindness, because we have a kindness curriculum, as you might know, and you can teach it once you go through the course. And I'm hoping children will teach it to teach other children. I would love to see a 10-year-old kid, or younger or older, give a kindness class, his class. I think kids listen to kids more than they listen to adults. And that would be fantastic, because there's a lot to being kind. That's why it's a 3-hour course. I could talk an hour or more on the third commitment, which is being kind to the environment, which I'll do tomorrow. I could talk an hour or more on being kind to others, which I'll do on the 13th. And I could certainly talk about an hour or more about being kind to yourself, which is the most important commitment in life, is to be kind to yourself, respect yourself, accept you as you are. I mean, the list is long, and like I said, I could talk on it for about an hour. So my assistant Chris is developing the curriculum that will be available online, and sponsors can sponsor a class, pay for the teacher, and the printing of the certificates that each child will get after they graduate, and they become ambassadors of kindness. Right now we have 2,384 ambassadors of kindness. And the last 3 days I've been pretty busy putting them in the computer. I talked to my computer programmer today, and we're going to hopefully come up with a system where automatically you can just put your name, email, and it'll tell you what number you are. You can download a certificate. It'll be streamlined, because one day we're going to go viral, and people are going to understand that if everyone abides and agrees to the 3 commitments, I call it agree to the 3. I like when things rhyme. The world will be a better place. You'll be happier. You'll live longer. You'll look better. You'll feel better. You get to other people when you say fantastic. They feel great. They look great. More successful in business and in personal relationships, and you'll literally make the world a better place. Now they say, how is that possible? Well, if you follow my reasoning, my insanity, some people might say, the word fantastic is a magical word. If you've ever met someone that uses that word, you have never forgot them. You never forget someone that says the word fantastic, especially if they say as a response to I am fantastic, I'm fantastic. If they say you'll never forget them. I've asked thousands of people if they've ever met someone that says that. And I stopped counting at 5,000. That was a pretty good poll. And the 5,000, out of the 5,000 people, 112 people have met someone who answers I am fantastic. Might have been the grandpa, might have been someone they met in an airport, but to the person, they never, ever forgot them. So what is that like in business? Your first impression to someone, to them, their impression of you for the first time, am I saying that right, is that you see how you're fantastic. They'll never forget you. Go in for a job interview, and there's 100 people in the job interview, and they're all going to say they're good, or okay, or fine, or all right, or so-so, or can't complain, not bad, or not too bad, or great, or wonderful, or blessed, or living the dream. They might say all those answers. None of those answers put a smile on your face. And it's the smile that's the secret sauce to the whole Be Fantastic philosophy. The smile. When you smile, science, not Dr. Fantastic, when you smile, you live 5 minutes longer. It extends your life by 5 minutes because the smile releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin in your brain. These are neuromessaging units that reduce your stress. So they say the smile, it reduces this much stress, so you live 5 minutes longer. Laugh, it makes you live an hour longer. They actually have classes, smile classes and laugh classes that help you learn how to smile and laugh. Can you imagine that? Now, if you watch Dr. Fantastic, you might smile a bit, or you might laugh a bit. And when you see me dancing, you're certainly going to laugh, because that's pretty funny. I think I'm a fantastic dancer, but some people think, oh, there's that old guy dancing. You know, of course, you see me as an old person. I'm only 26, you know, so I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm a young guy. Lots of energy. They say, where do you get your energy? Is it cocaine? Is it coffee? I said, no, natural. I'm just a positive person. Be positive. That's one of the big things in being kind to yourself. Being positive. Knowing that your path in life, knowing the decisions you make every day are correct. Your life is a series of left and right turns. Every day of your life, you just turn left, to turn right. To take this job, to take that job. To marry this person, to marry that person. To travel, to be a bum, whatever you decide was a turn in your life. You must believe that each one of those turns was the correct turn. Because you didn't make the other ones, so why even think about it? It's like thinking about the past. Yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today's a gift. That's why they call it the present. So you didn't make that turn, so forget about it. Believe in the turn you made, and when that happens, really believe it. I married the right person, I took the right job, I quit at the right time, I'm traveling, I'm doing the right thing, I'm being kind. Those decisions, those turns, are a decision you made. And when you believe in it, you get confidence in your decision making. The more confidence you have in your decision making, the easier your life is going to be. And the easier your life is going to be, the happier you're going to be. And man is a very simple creature. We only want a few things in life. You know, roof over our head, a full belly, someone to love us. Simple things. And Adam and Eve were no different. Cleopatra and Caesar were no different. You know, we're just human beings that need to be socially interactive. Now, COVID, I won't talk about COVID, but they got it completely wrong when they said be socially distant. Oh, what a screw up that was. Physically distant. They finally got it after a year listening to me. You need to be physically distant when there's a disease like that. But this disease cost trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, ruined companies, ruined lives, and only 5 million people died. More people died from starvation, 10 times that amount than COVID since it started. 200 million people died during the Black Plague. 116 million people died in the early 1900s from the Spanish flu. So you take 7+ billion people, and you have 5 million people die from it. That's a very small percentage. The sad part is 5 million people did not die from COVID. And I talked to scientists, I've talked to people that have seen falsified records, I've talked to doctors and nurses, and you name it. Family members that were forced to write COVID, because there's money in dying from COVID. There's no money from dying from a heart attack or the flu. Nobody had the flu last year in America. Oh, you don't get any money from the flu. $37,000 from COVID. Anyway, don't get me started on COVID. Today, I was hoping that, just as a test to see what's going on, give you a little doctor's advice. Let me see if I can call. Let's see if I can do an outgoing call. Here's a test for you. See if I can do an outgoing call and see what you thought 5 minutes was. Do it on Facebook. Let's see what happens here. See, Africa may have a different view of 5 minutes as well. And we're doing that right now. Because in Egypt, they say 5 minutes, never 5 minutes. In America, it's never 5 minutes either. So don't, Mohammed, relax. All countries are the same thing. People don't say what they mean. And don't get me started on words matter. Words matter was our fourth commitment in this philosophy. And I cut out the fourth because I said, who's going to be able to remember 4 commitments? 3 commitments that people can remember. 4, I don't think so. So this is my assistant, Pris. She spent about 6 hours with me or more in the last couple weeks, 3 weeks, learning about the Be Fantastic. Okay, my question of the hour is, what does 5 minutes mean to you? Hello?
There's no network.
She's giving me the old network excuse. Because they said, call me in 5 minutes. She says there's no network, yet she's talking to me on the network. Figure that one out. Well, there isn't much of a network, let's say that. You know, one of the things about life is never lie. Oh, you see movies where they start with a lie, and then they have to say another lie, back up the lie. Then you have to remember your lie, and it just keeps snowballing. Lies snowball you. You can't believe. So I never lie because I don't have the memory for a lie, 1. And I see a purpose in lying, 2. So why lie? It's one of the important things in life is to not lie. And there was a saying, who said it? It says, if you don't lie, you have nothing to remember. Just fantastic. So don't lie. Certainly don't lie to me. If you lie to me, you're dead. Book. Because in court, in a legal court, if you're caught lying, whoever you are, all your testimony is thrown out. Because if you lied once, you're going to lie again. So, and part of being kind to others is to not lie. I could throw that in there. Part of being kind to yourself is don't lie. I mean, when you say if you think you're handsome and you're ugly, but it's not a lie. If you believe it, follow my line of thinking. So you're not lying to yourself. You're believing certain things. Like I believe. Well, there's so many things to believe, to being kind to yourself, and that's, I go on for hours about that, but it's believing in yourself, being kind to yourself, not lying to yourself, Then there's fibbing. So no network. Just as we're about to go on, she has no network. That means she can't be watching me either. It's a little, excuse me if I rub my face, but it's a hot day. So let me go talk real quickly. I got a big audience here of 1. I'm going to read off the countries. I'm so excited to have this many countries. It started in October with Nigeria, Joseph started a WhatsApp group. I've tried a couple WhatsApp groups in Egypt. It didn't work out too well. It's called Fantastic Nigeria. And he got a following. A lot of people joined. And then that spurned many other WhatsApp groups. And at last count, I believe we have 29 countries and 27 cities. Let me read off a couple of the countries. Most of them are in Africa because that's where it started. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's pretty exciting. So I'm just going to read the African ones. Well, let me read first the country ones. America, of course, Africa. Belarus, Bulgaria, Canada, Egypt, India, and Qatar. Should have got some drink here. Now the countries, there's 54 countries in Africa, and we have, at this point, I think 27, so we have half. Angola, look Angola, that's new. Burundi, Cameroon, Chad, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of Congo, Djibouti, those names. I forgot to mention Dubai, I'm sorry. Estonia, Ethiopia, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea. Now, if you're listening and you're from Guinea, I've lost your name, so please call me. Ivory Coast, Kenya, Katsina, Kisumu, Liberia, Monrovia, Nairobi, Nigeria, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Africa, that's where Chris is trying to call in from, Sudan, Tanzania, and Tunisia. So I forgot also the Ukraine, I apologize, Ukraine, and Dubai. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 foreign countries and 27, Uganda and Zambia. Sorry, did I forget you guys? Now, the cities. We have lots of cities as well in Africa, and every day more are joining. And they have some crazy names. Abuja, Adamawa, Rusa, Banjul, Bo City, Banff, Baranza, Bulawayo, Buzia, Bujumbura, Cairo, California, Calabar, Cibitoke, it's a new one, Dar es Salaam, Durhan, Goma, Ishaka, Kano, Kaduna, Kabale, Kamina, Kampala, Kanema, Katali, a lot of K's, Sharm, Tamale, Madhya Pradesh, Mabali, Mazinda, Mufraliva, Mwanza, Palisa, Yaounde, and Yola Adamawa. Now, that's some crazy names, and that's some fantastic places. All the admins are giving of their time and effort to spread the Be Fantastic philosophy. Thank you guys so much. And if you're watching, that's fantastic. One of the things that I was going to do, and I may do that tomorrow or on the 13th, is I suggest if you're hosting a class like I'm doing now, or you're at a church group, or a wedding, or a classroom, and I've got many classrooms in America doing this, to start the energy. It's all about energy. Energy is very important of a group. Get them excited. Get them involved. I ask you to do 3 things, and that's have the group do what's called the Be Fantastic rally call. So I'm going to do it with you right now, and I know there's only one person watching, so do this. Say, we are fantastic. That's we. The group, country, the world, we are fantastic. Then, repeat after me, you are fantastic. Point to someone next to you and say, you are fantastic. Loud and with energy. And then finally say, I am fantastic. And that gets the crowd going. It's a big crowd, and it's fantastic. The words I am, at least in the English language, are 2 of the most important words in the language. I am. It's belief. René Descartes, the French philosopher, said, I think, therefore I am. If you think you're beautiful, you are. Doesn't matter what I think, your spouse, your parents, your best friend, doesn't matter what they think. If you think you're beautiful, you are. Conversely, if you think you're ugly, you are. No matter how many people tell you you're beautiful, if you think you're ugly, you are. It is. So it's all up here. Happiness is up here. Success is up here. If you think you're success, you are. You don't have to be rich to be success. To me, I raised the most beautiful human beings on the planet. That was my claim to fame. That's what made me a success. And now to teach people to be kind and show them a better way of looking at life. If you listen to me for 10 hours or more, you're going to look at life a little differently, in a better prism. See, my prism is very, very bizarre. I've led a very unconventional life. I've had 3 sets of parents. They're all passed away, and they were not the best of parents, I gotta tell you that. My real father abandoned my mother. She passed away along with my stepdad when I was 9, and my father, dad has passed away. I believe the foster mom is alive, I'm not sure. A long time ago. But I don't use that as a crutch. I use it as a ladder. It made me who I am. Look at the pain you've gone through. Look at the toughness you've endured. Look at the grit of life as a stepping stone, as a character developer. It's developing you as a person. And believe me, that all those bad things made you who you are. And you are fantastic. You got to believe that you're fantastic. I can't convince you you're fantastic. It's like leading a horse to water. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Okay? Very old saying. I made that up, by the way. So I can lead people to believe. I call it agree to the 3. Just today, one person said, I don't believe this. I don't believe those 3 can do it. Very first person in a year to even say that. A lot of people say they don't have time, they don't have the bandwidth, or whatever. But very few people said, I don't believe this could work, because they didn't listen. I guarantee, if you listen to me long enough, you'll understand the logic of this. I once had a banker, and I told him the advantages of all this for about 20 minutes. And he didn't get it. He just didn't get it. So I said, okay, well, I'm not going to spend another 20 minutes trying to convince you this is. But we started talking about other things, my other philosophies. And finally, at the end, during the middle of one of my other dissertations, he said, I got it. Because I was telling him how fantastic it will be for your bank's image. Every time you hand the receipt to a customer, or you're saying goodbye, to say, have a fantastic day to your customer. And I said, it's going to make your image look fantastic and make the customer feel fantastic. It's going to make the person saying it feel fantastic. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. And he finally got it. He says, I get it. Everybody wins. See, when I developed something, and I've developed a lot of things in my life, run a lot of companies, done a lot of things, tried a lot of things, failed at a lot of things, everybody has to win. I design it to where everyone wins. Everybody has to win. Because my theory is, when everybody wins, everybody wins. How cool is that? That's pretty fantastic. You know, it's just smart business. You know, anyway, that's what it is. I don't have a script, by the way. No 2 speeches I've ever given are the same, because the way my mind works, you know, I get off on little tangents. When I give the kindness course on the 13th, I'm going to have a PowerPoint, because that's the class, is you or me. If you want to host a kindness class, you've got to follow a curriculum. Curriculum is going through the points of why it's important to be kind to yourself, why it's important to be kind to others, why it's important to be kind to the environment, and how to be kind to yourself, how to be kind to other people, how to be kind to the environment. And that's why they're each long. Now, maybe on the 13th, I won't take a whole hour on each one, because if you're going to become a teacher in the course, you need to melt your experiences into it. Now, there's a young lady in California. She just started Be Fantastic California. Amy Wells. She's a very old, I want to say old ambassador. She's a young number, 280 something. And she finally called me. She got one of my newsletters. By the way, if you're watching this and you don't have your email registered, send it to me if you want to get a newsletter once a month. And she got my newsletter, and she wants to be a motivational speaker. I said, that's fantastic. Very few motivational speakers out there are motivating you to be happy. They're motivating you to make money. Money does not buy happiness. So if I can create an army of motivational speakers teaching the Be Fantastic philosophy, wouldn't that be fantastic? Because the more people that follow the three, agree to the three, they're going to live longer. They're going to be happier. Imagine if everyone lets you into traffic. Imagine if everyone in Cairo stopped honking at each other. Imagine if everyone's kind to you. It's like the old saying, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And there's a great example of being kind to others. I love this example. It's my favorite example. You're driving to an appointment. You got to get to that appointment. It's money. It's maybe a new job. Let's look at it as an interview for a new job. You got to get there, and you want to be on time. You don't want to be late, and you're stuck in traffic. And someone wants to pull out into traffic. And of course, you're most important. As I said, you come first, but it doesn't mean to be selfish either. And letting someone into traffic takes 5 seconds, by the way, just in case you didn't know that. And so you're sitting there and you say, no, I can't let him in. So for the next minute, that person's staring you down because you're being an ass by not letting him in. You're feeling like shit because you should let him in, and he's sitting there pounding, damn it, why aren't you letting me in? No one's letting me in. And so that's not a very kind situation on anybody's part. So you get to the interview, and who's interviewing you? The guy or the girl. How is that person going to look at you? Not in a kind manner. You didn't let him into traffic. See, most people don't do something kind unless there's a reward. If you had known it was the person going to interview you, you'd let him in a heartbeat. You'd put it in a park and help him, push the car into traffic or whatever, right? But you didn't. So now, conversely, just because you're now a kind person, hopefully, and you see someone that needs to be led into traffic, maybe they're something that's very important for them as well, work, or their wife's having a baby, you never know. You let them in. It takes 5 seconds. 5 seconds of your life. So you let them in. You feel good about it. They feel good about it. Positive energy is expelled, right? So, now you get to the interview, and it's that person. How is that person going to think about you as a person? They know you had to get to the interview in time, and maybe you're late. If you're late, you can say, by the way, remember, never be late. You could say, oh, I let this person in the traffic. Oh, it was you. But anyway, you probably get the job, is what I'm saying. And you also get the job if you say you're fantastic, because 99 of the other people are going to say, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm well. Which brings me to the question that nobody knows the answer to. Muhammad, you probably forgot it, but I'm going to ask everyone out there, where did the question, how are you, come from? Anybody know? Raise your hand if you know. Anyone? Nobody knows. Dr. Fantastic happens to know, because I was there when it happened. It was 650 years ago. And they had this really bad thing happening in the world. It was called the bubonic plague. 200 million people died from the bubonic plague. 200 million. And if you got within a few feet of someone who had the plague, you died. So back then they invented a question to save their lives. From a great distance they yell out, Muhammad, how are you? And Muhammad would only have 2 answers back then. He didn't say, I'm okay. No, he'd either yell back, I've got it. If he didn't want you to die, if he was a real ass, he'd say, come on over. And the answer you wanted to hear was, I'm well. Meaning you don't have the plague. And they'd come visit you. That was the question. Today, it's not a question. I've heard a million stories when someone answered, yeah, how are you? Oh, my mom just died. Okay, let's get to work. They don't hear the answer because it's not a question anymore. It's a greeting. There are a couple countries that don't say, how are you? They say, how was your meal? Or have you eaten? Some Asian countries do that. But for the most part, everyone says, how's it going? How you doing? How are you? And that's how you greet someone. Every day, every person, every country, for your entire life. So my theory is if everyone starts saying, I'm fantastic, even if they're not, what happens? They extended their life by 5 minutes. They've committed an act of kindness because it made the other person smile, which made them live longer, look better, feel better. So you're actually giving something when you say that. It's an act of kindness. It's a giving thing. This whole program is a giving thing. Well, teachers are really taking akin to it because they are givers. Okay, they're givers. They want to help. So a lot of people come in and say, "What's in it for me? What's my benefit from this?" And those aren't the people I want. But when I explain to them that they're going to live longer, feel better, do better in business, make the world a better place, clean up the environment, it makes a little bit more sense. But if there's not a paycheck, if I paid everybody $5 a day to be kind, I have a lot of kind people out there, right? But what's $5 when we can't spend it because we screwed up the planet? Individuals screwed up the planet. Individuals threw a cigarette butt down on the ground every day. 4.7 trillion every year. Individuals threw a plastic bottle on the ground. They created islands of plastic in our oceans. I finally got it right. So when you throw a cigarette butt, sometimes it's caused fires, which has caused people to die. Farms and houses to burn down. One cigarette butt did that. One cigarette butt cost millions of dollars in damage. 4.7 trillion a year. Individuals did that. Individuals caused global warming. Individuals can solve it. So I could talk again for an hour on be kind to our environment, because individuals can fix it by consuming less, by turning the water, running it lower, turning it off when you're brushing your teeth, reducing electricity, reducing gasoline, taking public transportation, walking, bicycling. Use a third less of toothpaste. It lasts 3 times longer. There's so many ways of consuming less. Do you need really to buy 3 Pepsis a day? Do you really need to buy 3 Pepsis a day? I know. I deserve 3. I worked hard. I deserve my 3 Pepsis a day. Because you're thinking of yourself. People are selfish. If you watch my videos, at the end it usually says, because of overcrowding, in the cities mostly, you don't find this in the countries, in rural areas, in the villages, we become a greedy, selfish, litigious society. And I tell you, I had stories up the yin-yang. People just push you aside in the subway, push you aside in the street because they're more important. They got to get to the work. They got to get to the job. They run you down on the street in their cars. Every day, hit and run. They run you down and kill you and leave. Man, so many things we need to do. It gets me thinking about being kind to others, not fighting. You know how many people are in jail today over someone spilled beer or looked at them wrong or bumped into them at a bar when they were drunk and they hit them and they fell down and died or just something bad happened? Fighting. Being kind to others is never fighting, never arguing. They say think or count to 10 seconds before you say something. That really creates an argument not happening because it's usually jump to a decision or something. Arguing. Tell your wife or your husband they're right, or your friend that wants to argue. People want to argue. You're right. You're right. You're right. What's the big deal? You got your ego. You got to be right. Tell them they're right. Drive them crazy. Arguing just negative energy. Negative is a negative sign is like this. It's like the horizon. It's flat, boring. It's bad. Positive is twice as good. It's like a cross. It's beautiful. Like an intersection of positive. At any rate, you have to be positive in life. If I'm jumping around. If I had my PowerPoint, I'd be going in order. But kind of like today, I'll just jump around and test this YouTube out. Mohammed, if you're still there and watching, give me a call. Let me know how I'm doing. If you are an admin or an ambassador, I would like you to encourage others to become admins and ambassadors and invite their friends, family, associates, and strangers into their groups to introduce the 3. And then they may introduce others to the 3. It's like a little octopus started with Be Fantastic Nigeria, and then India, and Canada, and Egypt, and Egypt was first. But these WhatsApp groups I'm talking about, and then it's just filtering out more and more people. If your country is taken, because there's only one admin per country, and if your city's taken, like Freetown, then you can do a personal group. And personal groups are fantastic. There will be more personal groups than there will be city or country, because there's only 191 countries in the world. We've got 30, let's say 30, 1/6, 1/7, between that, of the world we have admins in. There's 10,000 cities. We're far short of that, with 27 cities. Technology, you gotta love it. American in Egypt talking to a South African in Africa. Are you there?
Yeah.
You're here. So what happened? Hello? Hello? 2 words. I'm here. You know, the favorite, the most often said thing I think on cell phones is, "Can you hear me?" Right? I mean, how often do you say that? Can you hear me? It's got to be the most often said phrase, other than "How are you?" Can you hear me? So I had 2 words in from Chris in the last hour. How long has this been running? What time did I go on? So this is what's called ad lib. We have this ad lib session, just to talk about this, that, and the other thing. Again, I want to thank the admins and the ambassadors. A lot of them probably forgot about, because it's been 3 years about being fantastic. But when we go viral, it's going to be very exciting to have I did a little video on this guy here who just honked his horn. He honked his horn because he's selling water. And he has a guy sitting in the back of the truck yelling, "Water. We've got water." And so I interviewed him. He speaks English. And sells about around 100, 150 a day. 5 gallons is $1, 15 pounds. They have pounds here. If you see me going like this, that means there's a fly. I write a lot of blogs. I wrote one on flies, because wherever you go, there seems to be a fly. Every country, everywhere you go. I mean, I'm riding my bike along, and there's flies attacking me. Well, I'm going 20 miles an hour on a bike. It's like crazy. But I found out, as I Google it, flies are very important, like the bee. Now, let's get to the bee. The bee in our logo, Be Fantastic, originally had just the B and the word fantastic. Be fantastic. People didn't get it, so I put B-E, fantastic. Like be kind, be nice, be civil, be polite, be on time. Lots of B's. The bee in our logo is very important. The bee is the most important insect on the planet because it pollinates the flowers, which cultivates our crops. 1/3 of the world's crops are responsible or thanked for the bee. They're responsible from the bee. They're thanked, whatever it is. I'm not a public speaker. At any rate, so the bees are very important. In the Be Fantastic philosophy, the movement, the organization, the bee is you, an ambassador of kindness, pollinating positivity and cultivating civility. Every WhatsApp group, that's in the description of the group, and the personal groups have this logo, and the country or city groups have the ambassador logo that Joseph created, our first administrator. Great guy. So the bee is very important. Pollinating positivity, which we have to do every day. Be positive. Be positive about everything. Your life, your love, your work, kids. Positive thinking manifests positive action. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to look at the time. I'm going to get something to drink. I'll be right back. This is live television. Let me see if it's running. It has been running for 56 minutes. That's not bad. I'm having a drink. "56 minutes of blabbering." So, this is Tang. It's 3 pounds. It's 20 cents. So I pour it in with the water. It's delicious. It really is really good. A couple things I haven't eaten since I was a kid was Tang and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't know, late night for a snack, I get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I think they're so delicious. Years I didn't go out without a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and now I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Okay, so that was 1 hour of ad-libbing. Not the kindness course will be 3 hours like that. So let's just say this was the Be Kind to Yourself Commitment 1 hour. Thank you for watching. Let's end the class with, "We are fantastic. You are fantastic. I am fantastic." And then that would be class 1. Then in another day, because humans' attention span is not an hour, but when you're stuck in a class, actually, I think classes now, they're not even an hour. What are they, 45 minutes? And do we have classes anymore because of COVID? So the point is, so that would be class 1. Come back next week or whenever you're going to do it as a teacher. But on the 13th, I'll go through all 3, which you can watch at your leisure. And then you're going to get a certificate saying that you are a graduate of the kindness curriculum. And you could host your own classes. I'm really hoping that the kids will do it. That would be fantastic. But again, all you have to do is read from the PowerPoint. So everything I'm saying now is going to be in the PowerPoint. Not all the stories, but you have your own stories about kindness. I'm sure everyone's witnessed a random act of kindness. When you talk about being kind to your children, there was a thing called capital punishment. And there still is out there today. Parents beating the hell out of their kids, spanking them. Grounding them is not capital punishment, but spanking them and slapping them certainly is capital punishment, and it's against the law. Nowadays, you yell at your kid, he calls child services and says, "My mommy yelled at me. Please send the police." It's a crazy world. Kids are really smart. Well, you know why they're smart? It's because they have your genes in them, and your parents' genes in them. Then I can talk about parenting. I don't know if it's in the course parenting, but I could talk about parenting for hours. How we screw up our kids by teaching them fear. You're screwed up, I'm screwed up, we're all screwed up because of fear. We're taught fear. You don't learn fear. You learn, like, a flame doesn't scare someone as a child. But when you put your finger in it, you learn it's hot and you don't do it anymore. But for someone to tell you, don't touch that or you'll burn yourself, now you're taught fear. It's better to learn by touching the flame and not knowing that you shouldn't touch it anymore than being taught to be afraid of it. Does that make sense? I may not always make sense, but, what's the saying? I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong. I have a thing on Be Fantastic Today. It was fun. It still is if you send in a question. It's called Ask Dr. Fantastic Anything. And people will videotape a question, and I will videotape an answer. And there's a lot of them on Be Fantastic Today. BeFantasticToday.com, there are hundreds of motivational quotes, famous quotes from famous people read by normal people all over the United States. I did that in the United States, about 22 different states, and had someone, a new ambassador, read a quote from Benjamin Franklin or Abraham Lincoln or Helen Keller, and that was fun. I never keep doing the same. I can't stand routine. I don't like routine. I really never liked routine. That's why I've done so many different things in my life, because it became a routine. And when something becomes a routine for me, I'm not interested anymore, and I got to do something new for a routine. I grew a garden for 3 months here. That was a nice little routine. It wasn't really much of a routine. I did it when I did it, but followed my own advice. Because when COVID came out, I told everyone, plant a garden, something to do. Teach your kids to grow some fruit and some vegetables, or some herbs and spices. It's something to do while you're quarantined. And so I took my own advice after a year and grew a garden. That was kind of cool. Grew some zucchinis, and the zucchini blossom I cooked was one of my recipes. As you might know, I have a cooking school where I teach you how to cook or show you my cooking. Same kind of thing. Cooking's fun. You should all learn how to cook. But that was one of my pieces of advice in the very beginning: is read a book, watch comedies, don't take life too serious, learn, grow. You know, if you have a cell phone and you're not asking it 20 times a day questions, you're not growing. So Chris, after an hour, still hasn't gotten through it. It must be driving her crazy. I'm sure she wants to call. That means she can't watch me either. Or I would have two viewers watching. Let's see if I can go. Our ambassadors, and she's one that's developing the curriculum course. And she's about done today, and I'll go through it and we'll correct it and tighten it and publish it. And like my second book, it's called How to Be a Fantastic Person. And if you go through the kindness course, it pretty much puts you in the right direction of being a kind person, of being a fantastic person. What I say is, what you want to be, you can be. Be fantastic. My thousands on YouTube, never a second take. Falls down. It's what life. It's natural. It's real. This is live television. You know. Obviously, if I had a team of writers and directors and lighting and cameramen, it'd be a different polished thing. But if you're not happy, don't watch it. You know. A lot of people love it. A lot of people think probably it's like, oh, what's the waste of fucking time. Did I say that? That's right. So again, if you're just tuning in, we've talked about a lot of different things in the last hour. I thank the admins and the administrators, ambassadors, administrators, admins, what are they? For being part of this fantastic mission we have to try to clean up the planet and clean up the people. You know, we're taught kindness as children, but it takes a back seat and we forget about it a bit when we have to make money, and we have to just be concerned about making money. If you don't make money, what are you gonna do? You gotta make money. That's just what they say. You know, I gotta believe. And they did a movie on kindness, or happiness rather. And they asked all the people from all over the world, you know, about happiness. And the poorer the people, the happier they are. Because they're not dreaming of having a yacht and a big mansion and working 20 hours a day to have. They're living maybe in a jungle, you know. There's still tribes out there in our planet. Still civilizations in our planet, on our planet, that don't have electricity. They're living in the dark ages. They really are. They're out there today, living like that. No cell phone. You know, what did we do without this thing in the past? Gosh, it's everything now. I lost the internet last week for 2 days. Oh my God. Luckily the television worked. If the television didn't work and the internet didn't work, I don't know what I would do. I have to go exercise it. I don't know. But yeah, we were so dependent on electricity. I've written some blogs about electricity. What happens if the electricity goes out? You probably don't want to read it. It would be the worst disaster in history if the electricity goes out. And it can go out anytime from an electromagnetic pulse in an EMP from the sun. You don't know what you have till you lose it. Many people have lost their wives from a stupid mistake and said, "Gosh, I'd do it again, I wouldn't do it." You know, they have this thing in school. It's called takeover. Something wrong, Can I do a takeover? Well, you don't get to take over. You know, if you screw it up, you screwed it up. You know, and hopefully you don't screw it up twice. What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Life is fantastic, and life is what you make it. You know, you can make it a whole movie. What's one of my sayings? Life is your movie, your own personal movie. You are the star of that movie. You're the director of that movie. You're the producer of the movie, and screenwriter, and star. Make that movie fantastic. Make it an unbelievably fun movie. Also make it a horror film. A depressing movie that nobody would want to watch. Excuse me. I'm supposed to do that on camera. Imagine a newscaster. I gotta pick my nose. I was scratching my nose. We all pick our nose. You know, you can pick your friends in life. And you can pick your nose in life. But you can't pick your friend's nose. So the question is, should I do this every day for like 10 minutes? Go live, talk about life, take questions, because eventually, people will say, oh, he's going to be on. But you have to, the problem with that is you have to do it at the same time all the time. People, oh, it's noon, he's going to be on. I tried that. I remember I tried that once. I went on every day. Something happened. I don't remember. But see the water guy? I did an hour. That's pretty good. I can talk a lot more. I don't want to repeat myself. There's so many stories I have. I mean, I could talk stories all day long. The construction here on C Street is pretty cool. So yesterday I did a hyperlapse photography. I was very upset. Set the camera up, ran it, and it didn't work. I wasn't upset, no. Did I say I was upset? I was disappointed it didn't work. Nothing upset me. I was disappointed that I set up, did all the work. There's something really, really cool. A once in a lifetime deal really was, because this is a very unique intersection here. Just happens to be across the street from me, and I filmed it in hyperlapse. So you would have seen 4 hours of paving of the sidewalk in like 3 minutes, which would have been really cool. Whenever I've done this before. And unfortunately it didn't work, so it was a little bit of wasted energy, but life goes on. Life goes on without me. I'm just a Joe, and everywhere I go, life goes on without me. I love to sing. Let me give it a shot. And now the fantastic's here, and so I raise my final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of men who kneel. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. I'm still a terrible singer, but I love to sing. And with that, I'm closing the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, you are fantastic. Please be kind to yourself. Be kind to everyone else. And be kind to our environment. That's all this is. You don't need a phone. You don't need any internet. You just need to agree to the 3. Just agree to the 3. And we'll make history. Ah, there it is. Agree to the 3, and we'll make history. I just thought of that. Mark that down. Mark it down, quick, before I forget. Agree to the 3 and make history. I like that. Agree to the 3 and make history. See, it was all worthwhile. Everything happens in life as it should happen, when it should happen. Remember that. I'll see you tomorrow.